Chapter 1. Monday. The whore trader lived in a secure building with live cameras and nosy neighbors. Brian had to wait for her to leave. Waiting made him antsy. He just wanted to get this job over and done. He didn't hate the whore. In fact, he had no feelings about her at all. But she'd crossed the line from useful to problem. And problems must be solved. 2 hours of waiting, sitting on the park bench in the heat, pretending to read a book, while watching the main entrance of the condo. He'd watched her often enough in the last 3 weeks to know her habits. How she left every morning before 10 to run in the park. How she took the metro to visit her Johns in whatever 5-star hotel she'd chosen for the night. How she'd lied about what she knew, and when she knew it. Washington, D.C. sex scandals were a dime a dozen. Affairs with interns, sexy mistresses, even a few cougar congresswomen with stables of young studs to service them on the side. But selling sex was still taboo, and could take down an elected official as fast as twittering birds would tweet. She'd lied to protect her ass, but now she couldn't be trusted. All she had to do was keep her fucking mouth shut while they figured out who had leaked her relationship with Crowley to the press. If the truth came out, everyone would be on the hot seat. But now she was talking to the wrong people, and her lies were coming full circle. The whys didn't much interest Brian. He was a man of action and opportunity, not a man who pondered motive or psychology. Brian stood and stretched. It was appropriate behavior, considering he was wearing running shorts and a t-shirt. The cathedral bells chimed in the distance. Soon it would be too hot for her morning run. Unexpected changes in routine were never good. He bent over and touched his shins, stretching his hamstrings. Sweat stained his underarms. He disliked the smell of body odor, even his own. At this point, all he wanted was to kill the bitch and take a shower. As the final bell rang the 10th hour, he stood and saw Wendy at the corner, jogging in place, waiting for the light to change. Well, shit. He'd almost missed her, even in her bright pink shorts and white t-shirt with one of those pink ribbons on the back. But her attire would make her easy to spot from a distance. He called his brother. I see her. You're clear. Don't fuck up. Right back at you. Brian disconnected, irritated that Ned thought he'd screw up. Ned was the crazy one, not Brian. Ned had a record, not Brian. But just because Ned had a college degree and pretty face, everyone thought he was smarter. The light changed, and Wendy jogged across the street, into the park, and up the path that she always ran. Good. Routine is good. Brian kept his distance. Because it was a weekday and edging toward 90 degrees, the trails weren't crowded. There were a few people running or walking, and the rushing businessmen with those idiotic earpieces, talking as if no one else could hear them. He'd followed her several times over the last year. Important when in business with someone who'd lied for a living. And so far, she'd run the same 5-mile route nearly every day. He cut through a narrow patch of trees and trekked up a short, steep embankment so he could cut her off. At the top, he looked at his watch. It would take her another 3 to 4 minutes to reach this spot. Brian stretched and focused on catching his breath after climbing the slope. Just another runner trying to beat the heat. He tilted his head in greeting at a male who jogged past him wearing a $1 million running suit. The guy passed Brian without acknowledgement. Asshole. Brian spotted the bright pink shorts as Wendy turned a corner. She'd be winded by now, over 3 miles into her run. He waited until she was 30 feet away, then ran in the